background. Guys, I'm going to introduce myself first and foremost. I'm going to mute everybody's line out. That way there's just no distractions. I promise you, you don't want there to be any distractions. You want to make sure that there's nothing, absolutely nothing that's going to interfere with this information, guys. So before I go any further, guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Rebecca Jones. I'm out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And a little bit about me, guys. Again, I'm married with 2 children. I was a telemarketer. And what I love about my story, especially tonight, I got receipts, right? Because I actually got some gentlemen on who actually can attest to this. One in particular, who actually was my manager. Shout out to Mike Yarbrough. Mike Yarbrough, what's going on, brother? I was a telemarketer for 10 years, guys. And also I was in prison from 2007 to 2009. Why do I share that story? I share that story because it's important for people to know it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to what happens to you, right? I got the grace of God, I was able to grow through that and become a better person. I was able to come home, marry my beautiful wife. But then we have 2 children. But here's the thing, guys. I failed at literally everything you can think about. There's nothing that I can think about in life that at some point I didn't fail at, especially in business. I was at a point where I actually thought that maybe this isn't for me. I was broke and I literally almost threw in the towel. On top of that, my credit score was in the 400s, right? So I really couldn't do much with a bad credit score, failures, and a felony, right? I'm at a point of disgust at this point. But then I met a young lady through my wife. My wife happened to be on Facebook. We met a young lady that changed everything for me. She shared the same information I'm about to share with you. So what I need you to do is I need you to take some notes, but pay attention more than anything, because you can get the information again, but I want you to really don't miss a thing, because you might be taking notes and you'll miss something, right? So I want you to just pay attention to what's about to go over. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is what it is that we provide, right? Why are we growing so fast? Why are we the fastest growing movement right now in all 50 states? Literally, I mean, we're growing faster than COVID, y'all. Put that out there. That's how fast we're growing. Why? People want what we have. Why? Because people want to be educated. People are tired of not being financially literate, and people want to have excellent credit. But also, people want to have time freedom. Type of 1 in the chat if you want time freedom, right? If you're tired of having to get up early because somebody's telling you got to be there. If you're tired of having to request off of work to take your kids to the doctor, put a 1 in the chat if you just want to be able to buy a home. You just want to have a 720 or higher credit score, right? You just want to get approved for the things you want, guys. We got almost 50 people on. I should see at least 50 ones right now, because everybody who's on here, you should be on here for one of those 2 reasons, all right? So we're going to go right. I'm going to talk about the very first portion of this, and then I'm going to bring on our special guest speaker after that, who's going to absolutely shut it down. That you want to make sure you screenshot when he's on, because very few people have access to this gentleman. Again, I'm absolutely blessed and honored that he actually took the time out to speak to this audience and to actually do this for us, guys. So did you know that 112 million Americans have only fair, poor, or very poor credit scores? Over 112 million Americans, right? 45 million Americans have what's called invisible credit. That means they have no score, right? My brother-in-law was one of those people about 5 months ago, had 0 score. And because of this platform, now he's approaching the 800 credit score, right? Now he can't stop. Every day he's calling me about something, right? Would you agree that arguments about money are the #1 predictor of divorce, right? And not just in divorce, relationships too. Nobody wants to talk about not having, lack thereof, why this wasn't paid, right? Why won't we approve? I'm gonna tell you, when I first met my wife, my credit was garbage. Hers was pretty good. She was the reason why we bought our first home. It was embarrassing for me that I couldn't even be on a loan. I couldn't even be on a loan. She was like, fam. In fact, I'm not even gonna take your last name right now. We're gonna wait a few years until we married a few years first. That way the credit don't merge. That's where we was, right? The #1 argument is money. Right, so let's talk about our company, guys. United Wealth Education. We have a record 10 years of record growth right now. Hundreds of thousands of customers served in 17 years of business, right? Literally every year we've doubled, every single year. Why? Because of what we're providing is working. People are out here sharing the good news, and people are jumping in leaps and bounds to get a result. So you can't be around for 17 years if you're not doing something right. Can we agree, right? Nobody sticks around for 17 years doing it the wrong way. It's because we're providing a service that people are using, people are getting results, people are excited, and they never want to leave, right? Let's talk about what we provide as a service. We provide now 12 services that are absolutely revolutionizing the game. These services are people are using every single month, and again, they never cancel. The first thing is our budgeting tool. Now I'm gonna tell you about budgeting, guys. I personally was not um, a person was not taught budgeting growing up. My dad was like, "Listen, man, you know, pretty much they get it when they get it, right?" Now my mom was more of a budgeter, but my dad not so much, right? So when I became an adult, I kind of picked on that same habit. It was like they get it when they get it, right? But now that you have this plan, you'll be able to actually create a budget for your household right from your phone. You'll be able to use that budget to start to get your house in order, right? Because if you don't have a budget, I'm trying to tell you, eventually you won't have any money, right? So you want to learn how to manage your money. You'll be able to do that right from your phone. Our credit restoration, this is the number one reason why we've grown so fast. Again, over 150,000 customers right now. We just came back from Orlando and celebrated customers and business partners who've reached a 720 credit score. We just launched a new a new program. We're actually going to be giving away money to people who reach the 720 credit score. If you want more information about that, speak with the person who invited you once, after the presentation, right? Once you get started as a customer, our credit attorneys are going to look at your credit file, create personalized dispute letters based on your credit. So these aren't just going to be some, you can't Google these letters, right? These aren't letters that you're just going to Google and then all of a sudden mail off. This is going to be catered to your credit file with all 3 credit bureaus. Once you receive them, all you got to do is sign them, mail it back to the credit bureaus, and within 30 to 45 days, you'll get updated credit reports. Now, we encourage you want to maintain on the program for a minimum 4 months, but I'm going to show you why you actually never want to cancel, and I'll explain to that as well. We have our credit builder. We're going to show you how to build your credit. Can we agree that you can remove all the negative items you want, but if you're not adding positive trade lines, you're not going to see a huge jump, right? So we want to show you how to add positive trade lines as well. We also have products to help you do that. Our Credit My Rent program is amazing. If you're renting right now, did you know that you can use your rent to build your credit and your score can jump up anywhere between 40 up to 100 points in the next 2 to 3 weeks by using that product? We also have a secured card that you can use, right? So we want to show you how to build your credit. It's not just about remove the negatives, it's about adding positive trade lines as well. We got credit attorneys, y'all. Not one, a whole staff of credit attorneys that's working on your behalf. They create the letters, but they also will contact you immediately if you have a bankruptcy on your credit. If you have questions about your credit file, they're there to answer those questions for you as well. Credit monitoring, you get to know exactly what's going on right from your phone with the best credit monitoring service in the business. Not only does it do credit monitoring, you can have access to all 3 credit reports with the push of a button. In addition to that, there's also a secondary option to go after some of those items in your credit report directly with the actual collection agencies right through the app. All right, I'm gonna keep going. We got debt payoff. We show you how to become debt free. Some of the debt on your credit report is not bad debt. You don't want to get that removed. You just want to get it paid down. Once you get it paid down, your score is going to go up fast, right? So those car loans, you might have some active loans on your credit, student loans. So you'll have some active student loans on your credit, mortgage. So we want to show you how to get that debt paid down with our debt payoff system. And not only does it work, it shows you how to pay it off fast. We had somebody who had an $80,000 loan get it paid off. It was a 20-year loan. They got it paid off in 6 years using this program. All right. So that's the first portion. The second portion is our financial lockbox. This allows you to be able to save any important documents that you have in a safe. Guys, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We got storms going on right now. It took the power out in so many places right now. We're in a hotel right now. Why? Because the electricity is off in our house right now. So it's going down, right? Imagine how many people whose houses get flooded, tornadoes come in and take everything, and you don't have anywhere to have your documents. I grew up in a household, true story. There was a plastic bag tied up under the bed, right? Now, that was the same, right? Am I the only one that had that? Y'all, come on now. So what I'm saying is you don't want to do it that way. You want to save your information in a secure place. And with the financial lockbox, it's a virtual safety box, right? Identity theft protection. It's still the number one crime in the world, not just in America, in the world. So with this, your score is going to go up. You're going to be a part of the 720 club, right? You don't want that to happen, and all of a sudden it's taken away from you through theft, right? So you want to protect your identity with the very best all-state identity monitoring service in the world. Not only does it protect your credit, it protects your personal name, even your social media identification, right? Can we agree that people out here copycatting names and scamming folks, right? So you don't want the people hit you. Did you send me that? I didn't see no video, fam. Like, it's real out here, right? So you want to protect your identity as well. Net worth. This is huge. So many people don't know their net worth. Everyone has a net worth. Now, whether you know it or not is a different thing. But we know Beyonce's net worth, Kanye's net worth, right? We need to know our own net worth and how to build it. Now you have a program to show you how to calculate your net worth and how to grow your net worth. We ask our savings goal tool. This allows you to be able to save consistently, right? Now, I'm taught by millionaires that we don't just save to save. We save with the intent of multiplying that, right? Through investments and things of that nature. But let me tell you, even if you don't do that, bare minimum, you want to at least save. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you don't have it. And this allows you to save strategically and consistently. Type of one in the chat if you have children, right? If you have children and you don't have a will and a trust, shame on you, right? Unfortunately, none of us know the time nor the day, right? But we want to make sure that God, when it does happen, our children are taken care of. I'm confident, I feel blessed to know that God forbid something happens to me, I know exactly where my kids are going to be. I don't have to worry if they're going to be taken by the state. If somebody's going to be picking them up, I don't want them to be necessarily associated with. We all got people in our family that we don't necessarily want our kids to be around, right? So you want to be able to put that in place, not to mention the assets that you might have. People say, I don't own nothing. You own something. There's something that you have right now that is some value to somebody else. Maybe your children, maybe your brother, maybe your sister. You want to put that and make sure that nobody is fighting at your funeral, guys, right? That's included in the services. We also have the YFL Family Mint. Every time we get a brand new customer, a portion of that goes to our scholarship fund. I was just in Orlando, Florida. We just gave a young lady $30,000 to go to college. We gave away a total of $600,000, total $600,000 in scholarship money, right? Every year, this year we're looking to give away $1 million. We just added our brand new product. I'm super excited about this, our Rocket Lawyer. Now you have a lawyer on deck in your pocket, included in the services, guys. What does that mean? That means you have landlord-tenant disputes, you have an attorney. That means that if you have to draw up documents, you have an attorney. If you have contracts that you need to review, maybe it's your lease, maybe you're getting into a car loan and you don't want to sign it off, now you have an attorney that can review those documents on deck for you. You have 30-minute consultations absolutely included. And if you have to hire an attorney, you get all 40% discount on their regular fees, guys. That's included in the services. Not only do you get credit restoration, you get asset protection. Now you have an attorney on deck. Now, how does this work? We have a roadmap. The roadmap is designed to not only show you how to use the services, but how to do it strategically. So month one, right, you want to get your services activated. Activate your credit restoration. Get on your credit monitoring and your identity theft protection. 2 or 3, build your credit score. Show you how to use the credit builder. We just want to systematically grow you through the program, right? Why is that important? Because we have something that is huge now. To become a customer, just to become a customer, that's $188 to get started. Now, I can guarantee you, each and every one of you at some point has spent more than that on something you probably didn't even need, and you probably don't even remember at this point in life, right? So $188 to get your credit where it needs to be, to protect your finances, and to have an attorney on deck is absolutely phenomenal. Now, here's how it works. Your first 1 to 3 months, you're going to pay $89 per month. That's the monthly fee, $89 per month. Once you get to month 4, your Rocket Lawyer automatically kicks in. So you don't have access to it immediately, you have it on month 4. Month 4 through 12, your monthly fee now drops from $89 to $69 a month. So you just saved $20 on this plan. Now, after 13 months, guys, it drops down to $49 per month. This is why people never cancel. For $49 per month, the Rocket Lawyer by itself is worth $49 per month outside of our program. You get all the services I just mentioned, credit restoration on deck, credit attorneys on deck, your will and trust, everything for only $49 a month after a year with the protection plan. So to get started, it's $188 to start and then $89 per month, all right? Now let's talk about, I told you earlier, we gave away $30,000. I was there, she was super excited. This was just about not even a week ago, last weekend. $30,000 to this young lady, she's gonna be going to school for medicine. Guys, every time we empower somebody with this plan, we're putting a portion of that to help people. So you want to be a part of a movement that's not just about creating wealth, becoming debt-free, becoming financial literate. We're also giving back to the community as well, guys. So, guys, that's my time. What I want to do now is I'm going to get out the way here because we have an absolute phenom on with us today. This is the time where you might want to take notes. In a very short period of time of knowing him, I've known him for about 4 years now. And what he's done in the last 4 years is breaking every record in the industry. 28 years old. And now he's a top income earner. Not only he's number 1 income earner in our company, but he's the top income earner in the industry. One of the very top. But it's not just that. When you see he has a great sense of humor, he loves to help people. And that's why he's here. He could be doing anything right now. Can you agree? If you're making millions of dollars, you don't have to jump on a webinar on a Wednesday night if you don't want to, right? But he said, you know what? I want to help you grow. I want to help grow this market. I want to be a part of the story, Rebecca. Let's do it. He said, let's go. He knows all the facts about the information from A to Z, everything about the services, everything about how to make the money. He's an expert in that, right? And on top of that, guys, he has a heart for people. And he knows what it's like to struggle. I'll let him tell the story, but he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. So can we agree that for someone who's been where we've been and now can show us how to get to the other side is absolutely paramount, if not, and a blessing, right? So I'm gonna get out the way to introduce somebody whom I call a mentor, guys. I'm 42 years old, this gentleman's 28, and I have no problem calling him my mentor, and also a friend as well. Is Mr. Alfred Nixon. Sir, are you on? Let me actually make him a co-host. All right, Mr. Nixon, are you there, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get this camera working, man, and certainly give it back to you. Put a 5 in the chat if you got value from what Mr. Jebecca Jones talked about. I don't know where you come from, your background, but in my neighborhood, they ain't teach us about credit. Nobody in my neighborhood owned the home. You talked about the will to trust. Nobody where I come from, they didn't have that type of stuff. So if you got value, go ahead and do me a favor, put a 5 in the chat, but just got a tremendous amount of respect from Mr. Jebecca Jones. Him and his wife, Nina, had just done an outstanding job. They're the first vice presidents in our company in Wisconsin, walked the stage this past weekend as 6-figure earners, are in our club members. So if you have an opportunity to work directly with Jebecca and Nina, man, don't take their time lightly. Follow the system that they give you because it's going to impede your success. So certainly want to give it back to Mr. Jebecca Jones. And I certainly appreciate the kind words and all of the great things you said about me. But I like to always keep it 100. Put a 3 in the chat if you want me to keep it 100 tonight, right? I ain't going to talk corporate. I'm going to tell you the truth. And before I got in this business, before we had the success and made millions of dollars and retired our parents and had all of these fancy things, what if I told you 5.5 years ago, I was at one of the lowest points in my life? Anything that could go wrong went wrong. How many people know what I'm talking about? I couldn't catch a break before getting involved in this business. And good fortune came my way. A good friend of mine, he seen me struggling like this. See, I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment with 14 people. Just think about that for a second. 14 people, 1 bathroom, Section 8 living, government assistance, food stamps, mom working 2 and 3 jobs. So when I seen this business, I ain't play with this thing. When I seen it, I could make residual income for helping people. Like, this was a no-brainer for me. So I got started off the rip. They had me at hello. I didn't need a presentation. You ain't have to convince me. I ain't have to think about it. I didn't have many options to get rich. So when I had somebody that was willing to teach me how to do it, and I had an opportunity where I could really empower my people with those services that Mr. Jebecca talked about, I was all in. So we got started. I started building it part-time. I had a full-time job. Some of y'all can relate. I worked the business part-time while I worked on my full-time job. But here's what happened for me. Within about 42 days, those services that Mr. Jebecca talked about, my credit score went up 95 points. We could agree that I was excited to share it with people. So I started telling everybody about it. 4 months in, I started to earn some significant income. I started to earn in a month in this business what it took me about 6 months to earn at my job. So I went full time and we started building. And within about 7-8 months, we made 6 figures. And within about now 5 years later, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. 5.5 years ago, this was me. 5 years now, we've been able to build the business, me and my wife, that has made us over $10 million. Just think about that for it. I'm only 28 years old. So I want to encourage you. I don't know your background. I don't know what position you in. Some of y'all are already doing well, but here's what I want to encourage you to do. We only got 10, 15 minutes that I'm going to be with you tonight. But I want you to get a pen, a piece of paper. I want you to pull out a calculator, because if you just get this information that I'm going to give you that the people gave me 5.5 years ago, I was an underdog, no influence, never went to college, no money, young. How did I go from that to where we at now? How did I go from that to retiring my mom by the time I was 25? How did I go from that to building my home from the ground up, driving Rolls Royces, Bentleys, and G-Wagons? How did I go from that? I found the system that no matter if you're 18 or 88, if you just have work ethic, if you coachable, if you're willing, if you're hungry, we're gonna show you how to get to the next level. So let's dive right into it tonight. I'm gonna talk about how you can benefit financially from sharing the services that Mr. Jebeka talked about. Now let's look at our platform. It's called United Wealth Education. And I remember seeing the services that Jebeka talked about that my mentor shared with me. And my mentor asked me, he said, well, instead of you just coming in at 188 as a customer, he said, what if I can show you a way that you can make money? He said, do you know at least 5 people that wouldn't mind improving their score by 50 to 100 points? Put a 5 in the chat if you know at least 5 people that wouldn't mind improving their score by 50 to 100 points. I said, absolutely. So he said, listen, instead of you coming in at 188, bro, you might as well get in at 299. I said, well, what's the difference? I'm trying to get a car. I need to get my credit right. He said, you got to follow me on this. He said, see, when you come in at 299, you still going to get all of the benefits that Jebeka talked about. You still going to get all of that stuff. He said, the difference at 299 is now you have a portal where you can make money. He said, and also if you refer 5 people, you see the $89 a month, it's no contract. Once you refer 5 people, that $89 fee get waived. I never paid that $89, y'all. I got my 5 people within my first 3 days. So I said, okay, yeah, you got my attention. How does this work? I work a full-time job. I don't got no time. I got to help the old girl out at the house. Like, how am I gonna build this business? He said, he looked at me, started laughing. He said, Alfred, this business ain't about your time. He said, when you invest that $299, you got live agent and customer support. He said, that investment gives you a call center that works on your behalf. You get an underwriting team. He said, all you got to do is refer people. The company gonna fix their credit. And you see on the screen, look on the screen, y'all, where it say weekly pay. He said, you get paid every single week. I said, yeah, I'm in, send me the link. And then he said, hold on, before I send you the link, let me share something with you. He said, when you come in at 299, you're gonna get up to 100,000 in life insurance. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back, just in case my audio went out. He said, when you come in at 299, you're gonna be able to get up to 100,000 in life insurance with no medical exam. One of my assistants, she got MS, so she can't get approved for life insurance. But because of this program, she got 100,000 because they don't do no medical exam. Now, again, I don't know your background, but where I grew up at, when the loved one passed away, we had to do a GoFundMe account because none of us had life insurance. So when I seen that people could get that for this, I said that in itself is worth the $299. But he said, okay, that's great. That's the foundation. That's the investment. Let me talk to you a little bit about how you get paid. He said, Alfred, we get paid 6 different ways. And that kind of caught my attention because at my job, I only got paid one way. When I showed up, I got paid. When I didn't come to work, I didn't get paid. He told me I can get paid 6 different ways. And so he said, I'm gonna just share a few of them with you tonight. He said, the first way we get paid, if you write in notes, he said, it's called personal sales commission. I said, well, how does that work? He said, well, every time you bring somebody in on that service Jebeka talked about at 188, you're gonna make $100. So here's what I did. When I was working my full-time job, we got paid every Friday, right? We used to work, make it $500 or $600 a week at my job at the time. And all of the people that worked with me, their credit was bad. So I used to tell them about this service. I used to sign up 10 people to get their credit fixed every Friday. So if you do the math, that's $1,000 a week. We got people on our team right now referring 30 customers a week. We got people on our team referring 50 customers a week. So you make $100 a person, and then every month they pay their membership, you pick up $12 a month. I seen value in that. And then I asked him, I said, well, what if I want to get my homeboy in? What if I got some coworkers, they open to making extra money. How does that work? He said, well, every time you bring somebody in at $299 and you help them get their first 2 customers, he said, you're going to get a bonus. They're going to pay you anywhere from $100 to $560. So So I started looking at all of these levels and I asked him, I said, well, what position I need to hit to make some real money? Like just an initial position I need to hit. Y'all look on the screen, follow me on the screen, look on the screen where it says sales director. I need you to remember that position, write that name down. He said, you got to get the sales director. I said, well, how does that work? He said, all you got to do, bro, go out there and bring in 5 people and help them get their 5. He said, 5 that get 5 gonna take you 3 promotions up. Now you making $380 a person. Man, I hit that position within a month. I started making $380 a person. I'm like, man, if I get there, if I put in 10 people, you mean to tell me I got the potential to make $3,800 in a week? He said, not only are you gonna make the $3,800 in a week, you still gonna get the 100 when you bring in the customer. So I stopped him in the middle of the presentation. I said, bro, listen, man, send me the link, bro. I'm in. And he said, nah, man, I can't send you the link. I said, listen, man, I don't need to be sold, my back against the wall. Like, I need some money coming in. Like, just send me the link, bro. He said, nah, man, you got to see the third way that we get paid. And I remember asking him that night, I'm like, what's the third way? He said, Alfred, the third way is called legacy income. In our company, we called it the infinity bonus. And I started to see all of these big numbers on the page. Now, mind you, I worked for the city of Miami sanitation department. So if you ever came to South Beach, it was a good chance you may be seeing me or my crew picking up and changing the garbage cans on the beach, making $35,000 a year. So when I seen these numbers on the page, I never went to college. I couldn't relate to any of this. So I asked the man, I said, well, how does this work? He said, based off of the position you had in the company and based off of the production your team do, you're going to get a percentage of that as a bonus check every month. And so I started looking. He said, you got a spouse? I said, yeah. He said, well, I want you to do what I did. If you got a spouse, your husband, your wife, if you're in a relationship on the call, that should be your first business partner, because I got my wife in. And we started building this thing together. She had influence. She started getting people in front of this thing. And today, ladies and gentlemen, she's a senior vice president. Look on the screen where it says senior vice president. That means her and her business team do $1 million a month in production. You know what she get out of that? She get 2.25% of that volume. That means her residual income, whether she do anything or not, is $22,500 a month. Man, that's what I almost used to make a year. She makes that every month. I signed up one of my homeboys. I got him on a call just like this, except for it was in person. I got him to meet the man that signed me up, and he looked in, he was negative the whole time, arms crossed. Man, I heard about stuff like this. When you start making money, let me know. When your credit score go up, let me know. And so he watched me build this business for 10 months, bro. If he would have just signed up in the beginning, man, he would have been far longer where he's at. But he watched me for 10 months. You see, and I moved out of my mom's house. I got me a condo in Brooklyn, downtown, on the 48th floor overlooking Miami. He seen me, got me a brand new whip, right? He seen the way that I dressed was different. He seen everything about my life was different. I got a phone call. I said, bro, put me in. And I signed him up. He used to work at a call center for 10 years. And we started building this thing. And today, ladies and gentlemen, he's a senior regional vice president. He's doing $2.5 million in month in production. He gets 2.5% of that. That's $62,500 a month. I'm not the best math person in the world, but I know if you put $62,500 a month and you times that by 12, I think that's going to come to about $750,000 a year. Just off of this one way this man get paid, he making $750,000 a year. Like, he only invested $300. Like, if somebody would have told me that I can make $62,500 a year, I would have invested that $300. But to be able to make that a month, it was a no-brainer. Like, these bonuses can pay you as high as $300,000 a month. Like, this is an incredible company, and we helping people. Like, we empowering people. We giving them their buying power back. We showing them how they can get home ownership. We protecting their finances. Like, this was a no-brainer for me. And then they said, Alfred, listen, that's some of the ways we get paid, but we also got some additional rewards. If you help enough people, I want to share it with you. I said, well, what rewards you talking about? He said, well, we got something called an R&R club. He said, when you help enough people and you refer people in your group, man, they're going to give you a car allowance when you get about 500 customers and business partners on your team. He said it starts out at $600 a month, and it can get as high as $1,500 a month. Put a 3 in the chat if you're a BO, you could drive a pretty good car with $1,500 a month. That kind of caught my attention. Then they said, well, it don't stop there. If you help enough people, what if we told you when you get to level 6, we're going to give you $5,000 a month towards your mortgage or your rent? So I started adding up. I started writing down what my monthly expenses was because the man told me, I started adding $1,500 plus $5,000, that's $6,500 a month. I started adding up my monthly expense. I'm like, just these bonuses alone can cover my whole household. Like they got, and I'm still making money in the, like this was a no-brainer for me. They also got some retirement bonuses. Level 7, that's where I'm at right now. They give you $25,000 a month as a retirement bonus. You can get it as far as $250,000 if you help enough people. Like this thing is incredible. But here's what made me pull the trigger. See, everything sounds great. The services Mr. Jebeka talked about, phenomenal service. I needed my credit right. The money part, the money that you could make, that was great too. But when I seen this, I believe that I can do it. The man said, Alfred, listen, I want you to know this. He said, you in business for yourself, but you never buy yourself. I want you to think about the person that invited you on the call tonight. And if you can do what they did, which is get people on the call and let the experts go to work, you can do this business. See, we're going to give you the training, the tools, but more importantly, you're going to get the support. We're going to show you how to get customers, how to build a team, and you get access to work with the leadership team. Mr. Henry, who's been featured on Steve Harvey multiple times, has made millions of dollars. He has a background as a tax professional. Miss Jackson, who wasn't even wanting to do this business. She had an $80,000 tax lien. Company was able to get that removed. She started bringing in pastors and business folks and real estate professionals and built the largest team in the group. Or maybe somebody like myself who grew up in the hood. Somebody like myself who came from poverty, who didn't really have, I was so young, I really had no business being in business. Nobody was gonna believe me. So all I did was I got my people, because they ain't know me for this. I got my people in front of the man that got me and my mentor, Mr. Henry. He did all of the explaining because he had the success and they signed up under me. That's all I did in the beginning. Tony Camilleri, real estate professional, senior vice president. Sabrina Lou started off with us as a customer. The company took her credit to the next level. She was able to get her first home. Now she's an executive vice president making a ton of money. Bobby Kim, one of the top leaders in the entire company. This man was working 70 to 80 hours a week, man. It wasn't about the money for him. He wanted the time back with his 2 little girls. So he started building his business and now he got that time freedom. Now he's making more money than he's ever made before. But here's the most important thing is he got the time. He's able to build this business like you and I from home. So here's what I'll share with you. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The journey of 1,000,000 miles begins with 1 step. Don't be like the average person that get on a call like this, hear all this great information, agree with the great information and say, I gotta go think about it. Think about what? We talk about $300 that can change your life. It's nothing to think about. We spend that on things that never made us money, right? I'll give you an example. I was kind of like the same people back in it. I was like, let me think about it. And I remember my mentor coming to me and he asked me like, what you like about everything? I'm like, man, the services sounds great. I think I can make some money with it. And you know, I like this. He said, well, let's get you started. I mean, he said, let's get the paperwork out of the way. I was like, man, let me think about it. Give me 2 weeks. He said, what you need 2 weeks for? I said, well, that's the next time I get paid. And I'll never forget, he pulled out a phone and pulled out his calculator and he began to ask me some questions. He said, how long have you been working, man? I was like 5 years. And he said, I'm assuming you've been working 40 hours a week. I said, yeah. So he times 40 hours a week times 52 weeks in a year. And then he times it by the 5 years that I worked. And then he showed me a number that changed my life forever. He said, you mean to tell me that you've been working over 10,000 hours for somebody else to make somebody else rich? And you don't even got $300 that you can grab? He said, no disrespect, but what you doing for work isn't working. He said, I could give you 2 weeks I can give you 2 months. He said, bro, I can give you 2 years. But if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, we call that insanity over here. And when he showed me that number, I never really thought about it. I said, what am I really working towards? I'm going to work for what? I don't even got $300 that I can grab. And it made me put that perspective, and I found that money. And I haven't looked back since. So you're going to fall into one of 3 categories. Type A, you was like me, you found that money, you got in. Type B, you was like my homeboy, he had a few questions and that he wanted to ask about the comp plan, and so a few other questions. If that's you, get back with the person that invited you. Or you was like a type C, like my auntie. C stands for customer. She just wanted her credit restored. Wherever you fall at, get back with the person that invited you. And again, $299 to get started. Are you kidding me? Man, our iPhone, your Android, that costs more than what it costs to start this business. $300, man. It can change your life. $89 a month. If you refer 5, you can get it for free. So I'm going to take myself out of the way. I'm going to bring you back in again, Mr. Jebecka, man. Phenomenal presentation. Appreciate your leadership. You and Ms. Nina Jones doing some incredible things in the Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. Turn it back over to you, man.
Wow. Man, I don't know if I can hold it, man. Thank you again, man. I really appreciate you taking time out, hopping on here. You laid it out. You laid the game plan out. And again, I just thank you immensely for everything you do. So guys, he put it out there. You got to ask yourself who you are. Put it in the chat right now. If you're A, right, you're ready to get started, put that in the chat. If you got questions, put a B in the chat. If you just want to be a customer, put a C in the chat. I just want to see that people are paying attention, because here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going on a 90-day run, right? What does that mean? That means that the people who are on, this is an early movers advantage call. Everybody that we had on here, we brought them on here because we said, hey, who do you know that has the mindset of success, that wants more out of life, that wants to get to the next level? And we tasked those people to get them on this webinar to see who's ready to take the next step, right? So we're on this 90-day grind. We're looking to help people get to the next level. Mr. Nixon talks about the level of leadership, that's sales director, but guess what? The first promotion is field trainer. So what we want to do is we want to identify those people on. So after this Zoom, I want you to get with the person who invited you. Let them know that you're ready to get started as number one. Either A, you want to join the team, we're going to get your training started immediately, or B, you want to become a customer. If you have questions, don't get your questions answered from your uncle. Don't get your questions answered from, from your auntie who failed at Mary Kay 10 years ago and she said that stuff don't work. Don't do that. Get your questions answered from the experts. Get on the phone with myself, get on the phone with some of the leaders that invited you. Let's get those questions answered tonight. Move past that fear. What we're about to do over the next 90 days, guys, absolutely is going to change your life if you're connected and you're serious. With that being said, I'm going to say my favorite term because it's true and it's blessed me. God bless, be great, and let's change lives. Get with the person who invited you and let's make it happen. See you on the other side.